So, as you know, I've been going through these newly released prison phone calls with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And listening to these, it's the amount of lies that she is constantly telling is disgusting. I'm trying to figure out, does she purposely lie? Or has she told herself these stories enough times that she believes them to be true and doesn't even realize she's lying? I think she knows she's lying, but she just wants to make everybody else look bad except for herself. Now, the call I want to talk about today, it was a short call, real short, so we're just gonna take a few minutes to talk about this. There wasn't a whole lot in this call, but you know what? It's still worth talking about the few things that I noticed. Now, this call was on July 30th, 2016. And this call is between Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her stepmother, Christy. And they're speaking about, the interviews, the HBO documentary that'll be airing shortly at this time. And they're talking about entertainment lawyers and whatnot. And Christy is explaining to Gypsy about how she has to sell them the life rights to her story because, of course, I mentioned this yesterday, Gypsy can't get paid off of anything to do with this crime because, Son of Sam laws. I don't know what the exact laws are there in Missouri when she was in prison and Louisiana where she lives now. I don't know. But it's even not ethically right to profit from a crime that you committed, okay? So Christy, is telling her, we're doing this the right way. You're going to sell us the life rights, and, we'll hold this money for you because you're going to need this money when you get out. You might want a house and a car and this and that. And Gypsy's like, well, yeah, and I don't want to be broke. And Christy explains to her, well, we would never allow you to be broke. Okay. Y'all would never allow Gypsy to be broke. But I wish I could find the clip. If I looked hard enough, I could find it. Some time ago, when Gypsy's fake baby, the baby she doesn't have, was less than a year old, I believe, at that time, she was complaining about her financial situation. She claimed she had $50 to her name in a savings account, and the fake baby, Aurora, needed some formula, and her formula was very pricey. She was given her top-of-the-line formula. I mean, shoot, all formulas very pricey. Even when my 20-some years ago, when my youngest was a baby, formula was outrageously expensive. But Christy, who, says we would never leave you broke. So was it a lie? Did they leave Gypsy broke with just $50 and needing formula? Or was it another lie that Gypsy was telling at the time? And, from as soon as Gypsy made it to prison, after she signed that plea deal, she wasn't in the county jail too long before they shipped her to prison. And as soon as these reporters start calling, that's all that her and money-hungry Christy, that's all they could think about was making money from this crime, and that's disgusting. Gypsy claims, that she feels bad about this. She's thought about this, asked for forgiveness, this, and that. Okay, now, if I had done something so heinous and horrible, and I was truly sorry and regretted it, I'm not going to want to continuously discuss it with everyone that asks me. I'm not going to want to give interviews and keep telling my story over and over and over and over. And that's another way that she got caught up. Had she come out of prison in December of 23 and just lived a quiet life, disappeared, now got on social media and, started acting a fool, running all over, and, people wouldn't have looked twice. Because I would say a huge percentage, including myself, we believed the story that she was harmed by her mother and this and that. But then she comes out and she's running amok on social media, just acting a complete fool. And that's when we started seeing all these lies. And that's what made people, request and FOIA these documents. And that's how we found out that it was all a lie. She was never harmed or anything. She brought this on herself with her greed. You know, like I said, I can't imagine truly being sorry for something, but yet you want to get paid for it. And you want to talk about it. And you want to write a book about it. You know, and you want basically fame. In her case, infamy, but why? Why did she want to come out and be noticed, and be the center of attention like that? That's another clue. See how she wants to be the center of attention? And look at me, look at me, look at me. That's how she was with her mother. She wanted all of her mother's attention. That's why she faked not being able to walk. Faked that she had to be in that wheelchair. And didn't tell her mother because she loves attention. That's bottom line. She should, like I said, she should have came out of prison and lived a quiet life. Just disappeared. And then you know what? She would still have her narrative. People would still be believing, you know, that that Dee Dee was this horrible, monstrous woman. We'd all still believe that. But no, Gypsy had to come out and wanted to keep talking about it. And she couldn't keep her story straight. And so we all got to digging. And now it's only a matter of time. That's why a lot of us do this. These people, those of us that speak against Gypsy and the lies, we're hoping eventually the mainstream media is going to pick it up. Somebody in mainstream media eventually is going to do their own research. They're going to look at these FOIA documents. They're going to look at the videos between Gypsy and Nick, the Facebook messages, the prison emails, the county emails, the medical records. And they're going to say, whoa, back up. This was all just something cooked up by her defense attorney and his paralegal Patty. None of this happened. And then what? Once the mainstream media gets a hold of it, Gypsy is really cooked. What's she going to do then? Then will she quietly disappear? And we're going to be seeing her resurface any time now because it's getting close to her 30 days that she's been gone from TikTok. And you know she's not going to lose her account with her 9-point-whatever million followers. So she's going to resurface on the TikTok here any day now. It's her patterns. It's what she always does. And you know she's doing her glow up. She's never satisfied with the way she looks for some reason. She's constantly changing her hair. She got the rhinoplasty. Now she's going to get this lip filler. She's going to get these extensions. Gypsy is so messed up in the head she doesn't even know who she is. She doesn't know who she is. All she knows is she just wants to be the center of attention. But yeah, like I said, that call didn't have much in it. Just them discussing their greed. And that's, once the money dries up completely, Gypsy's not going to have this extremely close relationship with Rod and Christy anymore. They're only in it for the money. Look, the money started drying up, and even Mia, her sister, moved away because she said, after Mia got her schooling paid for, got her plastic surgery, and got her car, she got up out of there. She moved to Florida now. So, I don't know. I just cannot wait till the day when, like I said, when they run a story in the mainstream media about all these lies that we've been calling out for 2 years now. Let me know your thoughts.